better team. Arm in arm, we'll win the fight. It's always been a dream. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em. It's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Pokemon, yeah, you're my best friends in a world we must defend. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em. A heart so true. Our courage will pull us through. You teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em, it's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Pokemon, yeah, you're my best friend in a world we must defend. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em, a heart so true. Our courage will pull us through. You teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon. Everybody wants to be a master. Everybody wants to show their skills. Everybody wants to get there faster. Make their way to the top of the hill. Each time you try, gonna get just a little bit better. Each step you climb is one more step up the ladder. It's a whole new world we live in. It's a whole new way to see. It's a whole new place with a brand new attitude. But you still gotta catch 'em all and be the best that you can be. Pokemon Johto. Everybody wants to make a statement. Everybody needs to carve their mark. To stand alone in the victory circle. State the claim when the music starts. Give it all you got. You can be the very best ever. Take your best shot. What you've learned will come together. It's a whole new world we live in. It's a whole new way to see. It's a whole new place with a brand new attitude. But you still gotta catch 'em all and be the best that you can be. A Pokemon Johto. It's a whole new world we live in. It's a whole new way to see. It's a whole new place with a brand new attitude. But you still gotta catch 'em all and be the best that you can be. A Pokemon Johto. Yeah. It's a whole new world we live in. It's a whole new way to see. It's a whole new place with a brand new attitude. But you still gotta catch 'em all and be the best that you can be. A Pokemon Johto. Alright. Pokemon Johto. Pokemon Johto.
All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to stream. I think it's probably music. Oh, God. Probably enough Pokemon. Oh, God. Hello? Okay. Probably enough Pokemon music. Time to change it up for some Pokemon music. But like chill lo-fi Pokemon music. I'm sure we'll only get really sick of this pretty quickly. Hi everybody, welcome to stream. Let me just move this over. Epic. Oh, my new follower thing is not working, right? Here, hold on. Because I know I have a new follower since that. That's fine. What would a stream be if it worked? Experts may never know. Experts may never know what a stream would be like if it worked. Hi everybody, so let me give you a little bit of a lowdown. What worked? Hey Lemon, welcome to stream. Oh, I'm mod, what? Hell yeah, dude. Hello, welcome everybody. It's saying that I have 0 viewers, which is not working. Which is not what's going on. Okay, stream is up. I am the 0th viewer, absolutely. It's saying I have 0 viewers. My Streamlabs isn't updating with your follow. So far off to a really good start. Really solid. Let me restart Twitch here just to see if anything changes. Doesn't look like it. Okay, worm. That's fine. Anyway, so for those of you who don't know me, I do frickin' art, man, and we're gonna do some of that today. Here, I don't know who doesn't know me, but like, do we just look? I've done this. This is me. Oh god, that's not me. None of this is me. Just anybody who just gave me notification just got promoted. Oh dude, I don't know what that means. Anyway. Oh, drawing. That's probably what that is. Drode is the past tense of draw, obviously. Bro drew, bro drode. Bro drawed. But yeah, so today we have a big task ahead of us. And that big task is 3 Pokemon drawings. I'm hoping I can at the very least, I'm going to work my way through all the sketches. If we can get into the line art, into the coloring, that would be epic. That would be awesome. I'd be super down with that. Not sure what the certainty is of like how far we can get today. But I did a little bit of research into like the naming ahead of time. Hello, welcome in everybody. Make sure you follow if you're not already. But yeah, I'm interested to see like how far we get. What if you just silly worm doodle warm up? Should we do a warm up drawing? Let's do a warm up drawing. My warm up drawing is going to be a worm. We're going to do a worm. I'm not doing a worm. I'll do a worm though. Let's do a little worm. This is going to be our warm up drawing just to show what I can do, to show what I'm capable of. We're going to do a little worm. This is going to be our worm. He's going to have that little thing that worms have right in the middle. A worm up drawing. There you go. Yeah, this is our worm up drawing. And then he's going to have eyes too. And this is our warm up drawing. What do you guys think? It's good quality art. Quality artwork to start the stream. That's it? No render? Oh my god. It's not for a warm-up. That's ridiculous. Preposterous. Absolutely not. But yeah, no, let's go ahead and dive in. Starting with Sprigatito. So I learned a lot about Sprigatito. Lemon, that's epic. I can tell that it's definitely not 1 a.m. for you right now. let me grab a little Sprigatito. Here he is. Look at him. We're going to start with Sprigatito. Did I just close? Damn. Okay. All right, we're chilling. Yeah, for some reason it didn't start. It's not keeping up with the followers, but that's okay. It's all right for right now. Okay, so what we have today, we're making the pre-evolution. We're starting with the pre-evolution of Sprigatito. So this is kind of like a little bit of a behind the scenes. You guys get to see a little bit of how I usually start these drawings. And usually what I start with is coming up with some features and some names and everything. So if we look at Sprigatito, it's Leah, thank you so much for the follow. Sprigatito pretty much boils down to two words, which is sprig and gatito, which is Spanish for kitten. And that kind of keeps going with the evolutions. I'm gonna pull this up and I'm definitely not pulling this up right now. I'm definitely doing this off the top of my head, and anyone who says otherwise is lying. But that kind of stays true with Florigato and Meowscarada. There's kind of like this like plant plus cat theme with all of the naming. And that's going to keep up. What's dude, you got to chill. But yeah, but we're going to be focusing on Sprigatito. So Sprigatito is sprig plus Tito plus gatito. So what I did for the naming here is I did some Googling to try and figure out what we can do with this, because I could not think for the life of me how I could name this without just ending it with Ito again. But I wanted to do something a little bit different so it wasn't just like literally that same. Sometimes I'll do that. Like if I was doing like Spiro, which evolves into Firo, I would keep that name. But with Sprigatito, that's not what happens. We move on to Florigato. So like Gatito evolves into Gato. So like my thought is like, okay, what's smaller than a Gatito? So I went with something that's a little bit similar, which is Michi. Michi is a name in Spanish that people will call their cats or their kittens that is pretty much similar to like calling it like a little kitten, like a little kitty. It's basically like kitty cat or like little kitten for Spanish speakers. So I wanted to make sure this, was a part of the name convention. So keeping Michi in there, meaning like little cat, I also thought about a sprig. And at first I went through words like leaflet, or just leaves or stems. And I thought about like stem Michi, but that didn't really that kind of comes off as like a drink almost, like a matcha. So stem Michi wasn't going to work for me. So I was thinking like Blossomichi or just like any other word that like ends with an M. And what I came to was Blumichi. Stimici. It does kind of sound Italian. I came to Blumichi because bloom, meaning like the Pokemon's just starting out, and then Michi to kind of tie into like the Gatito thing. So this is going to be Blumichi. Blumichi, the Italian plant cat. Absolutely. So yeah, so that's kind of like where I got the name. And so what I haven't done yet is done much research into like the design. And that I thought I would save for stream so that you guys could see like the sketch from like you know, like bare bones. So you can see the design come to life. So let me pull up pictures of Sprigatito as well as Masquerada. And then I'll bring those into Photoshop. So we can kind of look at the whole evolution line together and kind of figure out like how we want to do this. So this is our Masquerada, which is really interesting because it's very anthropomorphic and also very like, which I know that a lot of Pokemon fans really hate. But it's also like the floating flower is interesting too. I know it's probably because it's dark type, but like this design is crazy here. Like having like the veins almost show like leaves here. Or, I'm sorry, the leaves almost show like veins here. It's really cool. What about flattish ears, like how newborn cat's ears are folded over? That's definitely on my radar. Although, didn't I do something similar like that for Kittle? We can just look at our starting soon screen. Yeah, I did. That's okay. We can do it slightly differently. Okay, so let's grab all of these. And let's stick them like, I don't know. Let's stick them down here. And, okay. They're definitely aura maxing. Like, yeah, 100% Masquerada is just aura maxing like crazy. So the number one thing that you have to do when you're thinking about a Pokemon design, or the number one thing I do, is basically go through and look at all of the features and how they progress throughout. So what I'm looking at here is I'm looking at these diamond symbols and how they grow when you work backwards. They grow and they get darker. So you want to do like, so what I'll write here is I'll come up with notes in the corner here. So you want to do like lighter, bigger leaf on face. A single pale diamond? No, I don't think so, because what I will say though is I will say like maybe with less leaves or with less points. So it's like you have whatever. You have these. Basically, what I'm looking at here is this becomes this whole leaf. These little diamonds are like a feature of the larger thing, right? So if you can see it like that, then like this is this is this. So it kind of keeps the same look throughout, but if we're trying to make it look baby, then what we can do is we can just do like 3 and just make it like, you know, take up the whole face. Or maybe it can be the whole face shape. Maybe there's something there. I think I want this to be a very, very scruffy cat. I think we need a little fuzzball of a cat. I think that is definitely in order here. So let's say like scruffy fuzzball. Definitely, should we do downward facing ears? Now that I'm looking at it, I'm looking at like, are these the ears or are these the ears? Right? Like where are the ears? I know that these are these. I think the ears are probably like back here. Like behind it. Behind the face shield. Because we have like these round ears and then they start kind of like doing this. So maybe they should be round and down. It's kind of what I'm thinking. Downward, rounder ears. Bigger, paler eyes. Bigger, paler eyes. And then the next thing I'm looking at is this, which is interesting. Because these like leafy sleeves obviously become this. This part becomes this part. So am I led to believe that this becomes this? So does it get like longer and then shorter? So I guess if it goes longer than shorter, then we can just make it shorter. Or we can just, you know what, actually? I'm wondering if this would look better if it was like all green. Like what if a lot more of him was that green? Maybe that could be something. Let's say like more but under green scruff. Pre-shedded. Yeah, because if you look at it, and this is me coping for sure. If we consider this like under scruff and not part of like this scruff, then it kind of does work its way up. That's kind of a pattern. Like a little birds have gray feathers, they will yeah, exactly. Yeah, pre-shed. Pre-shed. Word. Worm. And then we need a bigger tail. Yeah. Bigger tail, and then like overall rounder design. Bigger fluffy tail. Is there any way I could make that grass related? It needs to be greener too, like a little bit of a darker green. These are pretty similar, but this really just lightens up. The whiskers I'm going to include with like this kind of like scruffy fuzzball. Do like big whiskers. My handwriting's atrocious right now. Bigger fluffy tail. I'll put like maybe grass related design. If not, that's fine. And then just like, yeah, overall rounder. Overall rounder and darker green. All right, I think that's enough to get us started. I'm gonna put round. More legible than a doctor's handwriting. Fret not, fellow traveler. Thank you, Lemon. Yeah, all right. So this is actually like straight up, this is literally exactly what I do every single time I start one of these drawings. I hope it's interesting at all. Also, I'm going to replay the last alert because I have 5 followers. So I'm just going to say, Leah, again, thank you for the follow. Just because it's for whatever reason, it's not keeping up. I don't know why. It didn't like that you followed, Lemon. Okay, so now we have to kind of come up with like, what is our general vibe with this cat? Like, it's starting off on all fours. It kind of stands up a little bit with like still cat legs, and then it becomes like full person. So I think we need to be like looking at really small fuzzy cats. This is really hard work I do, guys. This is like really tough research. I think for this we need to be looking at like, you know, fuzzy little fuzzball cats with huge eyes. Damn, how do I do it? This is so tough. More like tuft of fur. Let's take a look. I'm just gonna go here. I'll show you. I'm just gonna Google fuzzy cats. Let's do fuzzy cats minus AI. Fun fact: if you do -AI, you don't have to look at any AI stuff that's labeled AI. Some of it still sneaks through. Fuzzy baby cats, also known as kittens, because this is not my first time speaking English. What is this? Honestly, yeah, I think something like this. This is very similar to what I'm thinking in my head. Or like something like this guy. I'm thinking like a little smush face cat. Like there's a distinct kitten face that I'm thinking of. Like, not quite this small, but I'm thinking like fuzzy. I do like cats that are like all sharp angles, like this guy. But I think the smaller, fuzzier, the better. I think this is what we're going for. He could almost look like a bush. You know? I mean, is there anything more grass type than a true, just a Pokemon that's just a bush? Of course, we're going to have to keep the, like, the leafy shape of the whiskers. So, like, this kind of thing, where it's, like, very wispy. Alright, let's take our brush size down a little bit. Let's just start working. I think we have to come up with a pose first. So he's very attentive, and then he kind of gets cooler. So what's like a kitten pose? I know that for Litten, I did kind of like a, like, almost like this. Or it was like this. And, like, that's a cute design, but I don't want to do that twice. I want to make sure he's facing this way, though, because all of them are kind of facing to the left. So maybe we can do, like... Maybe he's just sitting. Maybe he's sitting like a cat. So that we can have these kind of legs, you know? Or maybe he can be like... Maybe he's, like, truly splooting, and he's like this. You know? What if I just looked up, like, kitten drawing poses? I'm actually going to do this over here. I just want to take a look real quick. It'll take me 2 seconds. Yeah, I don't know, chat. I mean, there's some good options here, but... I mean, it would be really cute to have him be, like, upside down, right? I've never done a pose like that for one of these drawings. Maybe that could be cute. Or maybe he could do something where he's like, you know, one eye open, one eye closed, and he's like pawing his face. I think that could be cute. Sitting, pawing his face. I think that's probably the move. All right, so if we were doing that, what would that look like? So he needs a gigantic head, because his head gets smaller this way, so it needs to get bigger this way. His eyes are going to be, like, truly most of his face. And this is, like, very, very rough sketch. None of this is going to be kept, probably. Little cat face. And then... should be this eye? He's, like, pawing? Or should it be... I think it should be the other eye. The one that's a little farther away. Let's do this, and then give him, like, a true kind of Pokemon eye there. It's like a little... that. Or... maybe it's even, like, open a little bit. So he's like this. And then it kind of cuts off there. I wonder, though, if he starts to look a little bit evil with that squinty of an eye. Maybe instead of that, it's more like this. Is this anything? Also, is this anything? It's kind of like an awkward pose to do. Let's recess. Let's bring his head back, his big fluffy head. And what if instead we do our original idea of doing kind of like upside down cat, right? You just have like a little mouth like that. The nose needs to be way higher up. The nose looks like it's like halfway up between the eyes. So what if we did like here? And then kind of made his mouth wider here. And then did like these ears. And then we take this whole drawing and we go whoop. We can move this up the face a little bit. And then I don't know. I kind of like him staying right side up. So actually, what if he's just looking up? Maybe that's something. Maybe he's just looking up. So let's make his ears bigger. Like that big. Have them kind of like do this. Similar to the Litten ears. Maybe he's cowering. Maybe he's terrified. Oh my god, it's the dude. Mello, hello. Welcome to stream. So we're gonna like... We could do like this. And then have this come up like that. And then this could be like the color of his whole face. Like his whole face could be this dark green. I'm not keeping this circle shape, by the way. I'm gonna like... I'll let you guys say hi to each other. If we do like true fuzzball, how do we make that? How does that work in Pokemon? Wow, Melly, you're being real... I was gonna say you're being real chill. Never mind. How do we make this? Do we just do more of them? Like, what if we do this? And then... I'm also, like, worried about making him look old man-y. Because he needs to be super scriggly. Super scruffy. I should just make it make him Garfield. Just cut our losses and make Garfield. Flipping this horizontally. Something like this. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty cute. That's unironically, that's pretty cute. What if his ears were more stuck together? I kind of like them down, I'm gonna be honest. Because they go further apart as you go. I mean, these are further apart. This, it's just hard to tell, right? Because his ears actually are like, if he was facing forward, his ears are kind of like this. But if this was facing forward, it would be like this. So I think more than they go apart, they just kind of like do this. So I think the opposite would be this. They're flopped. No, these aren't the ears. These are these. So I think the ears are supposed to be like behind these. So it's just kind of hard to see it. Damn, boy's gonna have a big head, but he has to. His paws need to be close together. Actually, what if we do like general body shape first? Like, what if we do like, if that's his head, his body shape is kind of like this. It will be smaller and it will be different, but I'm just getting like the general shapes down. Is this what the kids call mewing? Not quite, not quite. Let's do like one line, and then we can bring the paws in. I think we can actually tell these guys to leave me alone for a second. Or like... Mello, you're so hip with the kids. That's crazy. They all say YOLO these days? Real. All the cool kids say YOLO. So I actually don't even think I would do lines for the paws because they're so small. I actually think I'm making them too big. I think they need to be like this. Although I do love when kittens have like paws that are too big for them. But that's not what we're here to do. We're not here to do whatever I want. We're here to make what makes sense. Okay, let's take a look. I do want him to be big fuzzball. So, to the interest of fuzzball, but also to the interest of bloom, maybe making him kind of look like a flower a little bit, like doing something like this. And obviously, like I said, I will go through and clean all this up, but... that could be cool. It needs triangle tail? What is triangle tail? It needs big fluffy tail. Because small tail, slightly bigger tail needs even bigger tail. Cats are so small they tail a little triangle. Oh, you mean like... just have it... it's so long it's sticking out the back. Yeah, normally I would agree with you, but this guy's real fluffy. You just DM me a picture of... oh yeah, I've seen triangle. I got it. I got it. Stop everything. Go to Discord right now. Stop everything. I do like the idea of a little bit of a symmetrical thing, but then like right in the front having like a poof here. Actually, no, because it is already so symmetrical. So let me redo this. Or should this just all be green? What does this look like? Okay, so if you actually look at this, this is dark green, this is light green, and then this little tuft is not there. This little tuft is not here. So he actually like gains this dark green. So he has like this pale and normal green, and then light normal green and dark green. So if we take normal green with that logic, then this should be pale. I think my issue is then that kind of ends up looking like it's the shape of the cat. Everything's so fluffy. Big tail. Needs a big tail. Maybe like a real big tail. I'll make a big tail look good. I think what I have to do is just make a new layer and just try and figure out what I want it to look like. Kind of like that, and then have this come off. And then maybe one up top as well. So maybe this like splits like this. It's way too big. Although he's really small though. Maybe it's not. His butt would be like there. So let's do a little bigger. And let's do like, make it like here. And we just get rid of this stuff. Right? Like that's kind of something. That's getting there. This is the finessing that I cut out of the TikToks. Okay, so this will all be dark green. This will all be dark green. At the bottom half of the face will be dark green. And honestly, his mouth is a little too big. Let's merge that. Let's take this. I kind of like a small happy kitty face. Oh, that really pulls it together. Oh, I actually really love that. And then there'll be a little shadow here too. So that'll look nice. Small happy kitty face is the move. Yeah, he really did. Yeah, actually, hold on. There we go. Design done. It's like a horror movie. Perfect. All done. Okay. So big whisker. Yeah, this is starting to look like it evolves into this. This is starting to make sense. Okay, so this will be pale. I think honestly what we can do is maybe we even give him little boots. Maybe we give him little mittens. And we make those the color of the rest of him. So we could do like this. Here, I'll do 2 lines. This is this. This part is this part. And then this part is this part. You know? You seeing it? So like 1, 2, 3 is 1, 2, 3. I think that's the move. And then I think if we make the rest of his body like on the bottom that kind of same light green, if we make it that 2 color, then I think we have something. And then we could just make the tail that pale color again. I could do kind of like a a bump here. Have his ears be a little flatter. Something to this effect. Somehow his feet still look too big to me, and his head doesn't look big enough. Let's make his feet even smaller. And then unfortunately, we're gonna have to enlarge his brain. We're gonna make his head huge. Big ass head ass. It's big head time. And then bring it down to like here. You'd think it would fuck up the design, but it does help it make a little bit more sense. And then I actually kind of want this to branch out a little wider as well. So it's like this. And then they can come up at slightly different lengths or different heights. And then there we go. And then I do think maybe a little bit of this is in order. Okay. I never drew his back legs. That is part of why this doesn't look like a sitting cat. It's because it's not. I'm realizing this now. But better than realizing it when I post it. There we go. Aw, I love him. Aw, he's good. He's great. He's beautiful. No hind legs and all. Who needs them? I was like, these are literally his hind legs, like here and here, and I just never drew his feet. Silly. Silly. Okay. Ugh, God, never flip your drawings. I mean, like, always flip your drawings, but like, ugh, never flip your drawings, you know? Blumichi might be my new favorite pre-starter. Thank you, Leah. I mean, he definitely has the potential. The potential is there. I wouldn't want him to evolve, given the Everstone to Blumichi. Oh, that would be a fun question. If there's a pre-starter that I've drawn already that you would give an Everstone to, who would that be? Honestly, Blumichi might be up there. For me, it's Chirplap. It's my pre-evolution of Piplup. He's just like a unit, but he's just like I want him as like a plush, as like a pillow. Unfortunately, the Nintendo gods could literally never let that happen, but you know, is what it is. A pillow. Yeah, I mean, let's go back to the starting soon screen real quick. He's in the upper right or the upper left-hand corner there. What a little unit. Can you just imagine having that as like a what are those called? The Squishmallows? Can you imagine? Like an egg timer. Okay, now he won't be so... Ah, but his eyes are still wrong. Why are his eyes still wrong? I mean, I have an easy way to do this. When it's a sketch level, I don't mind doing this. Here, let's do this and just eye surgery. He needed surgery. Actually, maybe it's because his head's not like super symmetrical. Lobotomy. It's honestly like some of these lines are just... I keep messing with the perspective, so some of these lines are just kind of like not even anymore. Let's do like... do this. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. And then if we rotate him back, oh, it looks normal. He's just looking to the side. The sketch is filling with my joy. If the sketch is filling me with joy, I shall dream greatly of it. Good luck to... Okay, are you heading out, Lemon? Is that your crazy, insane way of saying you're heading out? I gotta fix these ears. Or just ear, singular. This ear has to come in a little bit more. All right, Lemon. I guess not. But yeah, enjoy. Thanks for stopping by. I know it's late for you, so I appreciate it. And you know, watch the VOD, I guess. I guess now is also bye, Lemon. Now is as good a time as any. Nice emote. Wonder who made it. Now is as good a time as any to remind you guys that I am doing commissions. If you would like to know more details about pricing and everything, feel free to hit me up on either TikTok or Instagram. If you do not know my TikTok or Instagram, if you're here from just Twitch, then ! TikTok and ! Instagram will get you those accounts. But my DMs are open. You might get sent to requests, but I see all of the messages that you guys send, so no worries there. Here, let's see. So if I do like a this, and then like a this, right? That's what we're looking for. It's starting to really come together. I was worried about this little guy, but I think he's good. And then for perspective shift, maybe do a little bit of this too. So it's like a little bit more even. And then this is definitely higher up, right? Yeah. I think we actually have to do this and then rotate him. Like that. And then bring this down a little bit. Scoot it. And just kind of make these both a little bit less sharp. There. All right. So I'm thinking, you guys can help me decide if you want. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do right now because I'm not sure if I want to. Should I keep doing the sketches? Should I move on to like Fue Coco's Prevo sketch, or should I start working on the line art for Blumichi? Sorry, I don't know why it took me so long to get that sentence out. Brain don't work so good. Here, how about this? Honestly, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to just start on the line work for Blumichi. I also think I want to just move the whole body up a little bit. Reason I'm doing this is so that regardless of how far I make it into this stream today, you guys can see a little bit of all of the process. So that way, if I end up finishing Blue Michi today, you know, maybe we can do another one. But you know, if I'm kind of zonked or wiped or whatever acronym, hello, whatever expression you want to use. Oh, maybe that's cute. Oh, that is cute. You know, that way you can see the entire process. So if I don't want to start Fuecoco's pre-evolution today, then at least you can see all of the steps of this process. You know what I mean? Okay. I'm just saving this. Pokemon pre-evolutions, Gen 9. I do not want to lose this drawing. Definitely not. He is too perfect. Cool. He's giving Galarian Meowth a little bit. But I also don't hate that. I don't hate that for him. I also want to just like make this paw look identical to this one for the sketch. And then what we can do is kind of merge that together as that idea. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. We're going to move on to the line layer here. So what I'll normally do is separate these into layers. So what we're going to do is we're going to call this, we'll call this Blue Michi Notes, and that's this layer. Call this Blue Michi Sketch, and then honestly, we don't need the name there anymore. Hello? What? And then we'll take all of this. And what's great about this evolution line too is that the colors are really consistent throughout. Like obviously they, you know, change a little bit from like each stage, but overall, not really. Also, realizing right now, I didn't really finish the eyes. Hello? So let's go ahead and do that. Definitely cross-eyed. And then should we do like a full cross-eyed vibe here? It's cute, but a little too cross-eyed. And then the eyelight should be in the same direction for both too. So we definitely don't want to do full cross-eyed here. A little bit more centered here and just up, I think. So it's like this, and then we could do like this and this. Maybe that's the move. I think that's the move. This will look so much better once there's color. Because right now it really does just look like a big fluff ball, and although I love that for you, Blue Michi, I think that you need some more lines. I think you need lines, and I think you need color. So it's time to make that happen. We're going to merge this layer as well. Going to rasterize these layers, merge these layers. So we have one reference layer. And I'll call this, I'm calling it white background, even though it's a gray background, but that's fine. Okay, so now we got to bring him to here. We're not going to worry about our color ref yet. We'll bring this opacity down to like, I don't know, 10. It's 9. Make it 10, just for just for annoying sake. And then we will take our brush tool here. Yeah, good size. And we'll get started. So this is my favorite part of drawing any Pokemon. Oh my god, did I really do that? Is he goated? Is he the best artist in the world? I was just about to go on a whole tirade about how it's like my favorite part of drawing these Pokemon is that they all have circle eyes and it's really hard to get that roundness correct, but you know, unfortunately, I think I'm just too good. It's too cracked of an artist. It's crazy. Humble too. We're gonna warp this a little bit. I think it needs a little bit of correction here. I don't want to be so sharp at the bottom. And I don't know if I like that. Gonna give it too many angles. Yeah, actually it does look good. It actually kind of just looks good as it is. All right, let's do this. Ugh. Let's do that. Tilt it back. This. Then. Boom, we got some eyes. And then we got ourselves the nose. I don't want it to quite connect. Yeah, we can make it look a little better than that. Like that. How's that? Yeah, I think that's the vibe. How does it look like the other noses? The other noses kind of come out a little bit more, actually. Like where these lines kind of do this. Seems like mostly they go like this almost. Let's actually go ahead and... maybe more like this. They're not like fully rounded, but they're definitely not sharp. Then that might look better. Yeah, it does. Okay, cool, 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 cool. This we can be a little bit less precious about. That's just good. That's just good right there. That's beautiful. That's just art. Okay. Should I even bother doing this? Or should I just copy it? What does that look like? This eye looks wrong. You know what? Oh, I just took the eye. I yoinked it. Yoinked it fresh from the skull. Okay, there we go. How's that look? Is that okay? It's more than okay. It is adorable. Okay, So now we gotta be a little more careful here. Things will get a lot less precious after we finish the eyes. But so much of doing this is just like trying to make perfectly connecting ovals here. So the less we can do that, the longer it's going to take. There we go. And then, is there a black outline on the actual eyes? No, there's not. Okay, so we're just going to kind of have to remember to do it later, I guess. And also, if you're wondering why the eyes are so close together, it's because as the eyes, or as the Pokemon evolves, the eyes kind of become further apart, like relative to the face. So the eyes should be, you know, closer together for the pre-evolution. All right, so unfortunately I've made this Pokemon incredibly symmetrical. So this is going to be a pain in the butt. So wish me luck, I guess. I guess I should probably worry not that much about it being perfect, like symmetrical. Because realistically, I'm going to be the only one who notices. But that's the thing about this kind of thing, is that if it's off, you might be the only one who notices, but if you stop caring, that's when you start making the mistakes that everybody notices. So it's never worth it to stop caring about it. Yeah, see, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. So we need to take this for its perspective, kind of like that. Yeah. Not everything needs to be symmetrical. Like, it's fine, but it needs to at least look like I'm trying. I'm really excited for when we get to the colors. This one has some really exciting colors to it. You need to go down more. Like that. Yeah, that's better. Did I give it that little round edge? No. How are we looking? Oh, so cute. Oh my god, this is gonna be awesome. This is gonna be so cute. I'm already obsessed with Blumichi. I hope y'all are just as excited about Blumichi as I am. Also, as an additional thing, if at any point you guys have any questions about the art or about my process or about like anything at all, feel free to ask away. You know, I got nothing to do but draw, and I got nothing but time. So if there's anything that you guys have questions about or you want to know more about or whatever, feel free to go ahead and ask. It's 1 a.m. so I gotta go, but so excited to see the completed Blumichi soon. Yeah, and you will see it soon. I'll be posting the finished ones this week. And the VOD will also be up. After I finish the stream the whole in its entirety will still be there. So you know, if you want to come back tomorrow or something and finish up the stream, it'll be there for you to watch. But thank you so much, Leah. Thank you for the follow and thank you for being here. And I hope to see you at the next one. Have a great night. Okay, the ref is kind of starting to get in the way here. Me playing football. Me referencing football? Hello? Crazy. All right, I kind of like that these are a little different. I don't think they need to be identical, which is good because they're not. Yeah. Whoops. I want to say thank you to anybody who is watching or tuned in even for a bit. Anybody that watches at all, I really appreciate it. You know, content creation in general, but especially this kind of content creation, you know, really thrives off of your support. So I really appreciate anyone who stops by for even a second, anybody who has ever shared any of my art, or you know, even just likes it or comments on it or whatever. Any way in which you've ever showed your support, I appreciate it. I really, really do. Okay, this is more what I wanted to do for this. Yeah, there we go. I really didn't like that this kind of just sat here, you know? Okay, so then we'll have this line be straight down. As straight down as we can get it. That's pretty straight down. And we'll have... Okay. Yeah, there we go. Just these little mittens for this little kitten. Yeah, I like that. That's good. It's so funny doing this art because sometimes I'm trying to make art that looks like really epic and like really cool. Like when I was doing like the legendary bird prevos, I was like, oh man, how can I make these like really legendary? Like how can I make them look like the legendary birds? And then for like the pre-starters, sometimes I'm just doing this and I'm like, damn, how can I make this as adorable as possible? And it is an interesting dichotomy. Interesting way to flip your perspective. And make sure this looks okay. I know that like some of it hasn't been symmetrical, but that has actually been intentional. Make sure it looks fine. Oh yeah, it does. Oh, this is awesome. This looks great. What I don't want to forget to do is draw where these color cutoffs are, but actually, hold on. Those are not solid lines. I'm talking about like there's no black line like here. You know? Okay. So actually we don't want to do that. And we don't even want to do this. It's like he's looking right at it. So we want that gone. And we'll put that back when it's time to color it. Okay. So I actually kind of want to fix this a little bit. I don't like how wide this stance is here. If we do like this, that looks a little better. And we can make his feet a little wider, or a little narrower, actually. How does this look? I mean, it looks adorable. Is that okay? Is it okay that it looks really cute? Okay. Yeah. No, that's good. I like that. Okay, cool. All right. Next is the rest of the fur here, which is very leafy. Do I want it to go down like this, though? Let's see. Let's see if I want it to do this. We'll draw it, and if we hate it, we'll follow the sketch better. These feel pretty different to me, these two sides, and I don't know why. Why do they feel different? They're not that different. Maybe that could be there. I think that's okay. I like it. Because he's kind of blooming, you know? He's bloomiching. And then we have to kind of make this tail convincing. So let's do round. Round, no. Not quite. Actually, this needs to all kind of be one shape, right? So it needs to kind of be like, wow. Wow. Okay. Lock in. Lock in, Bellman. You got this. You got this. You can make an S. You've written so many S's in your life. You got this. I really believe in myself here. I really do. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. For all intents and purposes, that's fine. This is not. You know what? Let's worry about this first. Let's get the rest of this looking good. Bring that up there. Kind of round this out a little bit up here. And then I have this like that, I guess. Not quite the right angle. Not quite my tempo. How about this? Is this my tempo? Oh, it's much more my tempo. Okay, cool. And then we will just... Coming out of that... How can I make it kind of come out? While still maintaining the shape. Here, what about a different layer? And then we can kind of scoot it into place. Like this. And then like this. There we go. It is done. Sort of. Yeah, that'll work. Round that edge out. Help that blend into that a little better. Same thing on the other side. And there we go, I think. Now let's compare this to the original sketch, huh? Oh, that's really cute. That's absurd. That's adorable. Needs to be rotated a little bit, I think. And then put him in the middle where he belongs. And if we look at this. So this was the original sketch. That's what he looks like now. Sketch, clean, sketch, clean. I think it looks really good so far. I think that's really, really good. All right. Now what we have to do is we have to take our colors here. Because if you look, this color is essentially this color, right? And this color down here is essentially this color. So the colors do kind of advance. This is this. So the colors that we need are as follows. We're going to need actually, let me just do for organization. Okay. The colors we're going to need are this one for pale, this one for green, for the eyes, we actually make them even a little bit more pale, just a bit, and then same thing with the highlight on the eyes. And then just so that we don't forget it, I'm going to add the, do the full eye colors here. Just so we don't forget to add the white highlight. What other colors do we need? It actually might just be 2 colors. Although, wasn't I going to make the green lighter? What was I going to do? Let me look at my notes. This is why I write notes. Big whiskers, downward rounder eyes, or ears, bigger, paler eyes, more but under green scruff, bigger, fluffy tail, overall rounder and darker green. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's something I forgot about. So this pale color here is actually going to be darker. Because this color is not this color. It's going to be barely noticeable, but to follow the trend of the color pattern, it's going to be ever so slightly darker. Because that's kind of the trend as you work your way up, is every color is just like a tiniest bit lighter as it evolves. So you want to keep that pattern going. Everything else though, I think we're good. Oh, you know what? This is really gonna bother me. A lot of overlapping lines in this one, so we're probably gonna run into that a couple more times. Okay. All right, I think we have a place to start. So this will be our color ref. Our color reference. We'll add the highlights and the shadows in though too. Which I just like to do this so that we have them. I think there are highlights on this, are there? Oh yeah, there is, kind of. But used very sparingly. And that's it. Okay. Wow, this is actually gonna be an incredibly easy one to color. Like, it just is. Okay, so we're gonna actually go ahead and bring the sketch back up for a sec. Turn that back down. Just so that we can see where these lines need to be. Because the first thing we're gonna have to do is, this can be with any brush, so let's just do like a hard pressure. Is we're gonna have to make our green lines where the leaf face is gonna be. Or the face leaf. So we'll do that. We'll do that. And we'll do that. Okay. So now we can start coloring. So we're going to take, well, actually, we're going to merge these layers so that this line is part of the rest of the layer. Okay. So we're going to take that. What else is this color? I think it's this. Let me look at Sprigatito again. I was doing 1, 2, 3 as this was going to be green, this was going to be pale, and then that was going to be green again. So that's all green. I guess this will be pale in the same color as the tail. I think that's the move. And then, you know what? I'll make the ears green too, to have a little bit more variety in there, so it's not just all pale. And this is my little secret to getting a good color, is just expand your selection by 3 pixels. It's gonna vary depending on like what your brush weight is and everything, but then you do it the layer underneath like this, and then you can kind of just go around and see if there's anywhere you need to fill it in. I don't think so on this one. I got pretty lucky. There's like some spots where I will probably just go over real quick. Any of these like little tight corners where there's like 1 pixel that might be causing problems, that's usually where you want to do that. Oh, this is gonna be so cute. Okay, I'm getting stoked. All right, gang. All right, chat. I'm getting excited. I'm getting excited. This is like the easiest one to color ever. Like, this is adorable. Come on. Come on. Get out of town. Get out of town. This is so cute. Leave town. It's too cute. I have to leave town. I'll see you around, but I gotta go. This is definitely gonna have issues. Yeah, like you would never see this. Like, nobody's gonna see this. It's just for my own sake. Truthfully. Oh, I didn't grab the nose color. I think it's the same color as the eyes, though. Yes, it is. So we're doing slightly paler eyes, so we will do slightly paler nose as well. So we do this, modify, expand, add a layer, put it underneath, bop. Then we do the same thing again. We grab our black, select, modify, expand, do a layer underneath, drop that in, and it's coming together. For harsh colors like blacks and whites, you really do want to try your best to clean up those lines. But realistically, like I said before, like, nobody's really gonna notice. So it is just for me. Okay, so on top of the line layer now, we're going to do a little soft round brush and add in our highlights here. Best we can. Best we can. There we go. Cute. You love it. Actually, we can make it a little bit wider. You really don't want to see underneath it, if you can help it. That's fine. Okay, so that's that. You know, we'll actually give him another one, because he is so bright-eyed and he is so baby that he gets extra twinkly eyes just as a treat. And then we're going to take this, and how is it done on Sprigatito? Okay, that's what I thought. Just traditional Pokemon eyes. Traditional anime eyes. So we will grab these. No, we do not want the soft brush anymore. With the hard round pressure brush. With that. He's looking pretty cute. Looking pretty special. Yeah, I guess now I just kind of start. I'm going to combine all of these, merge these into what I call flats. And then on top, we're going to start a shadow layer. But the first thing we're going to actually do is we're going to go ahead and use our smudge tool. We're going to make this look a little cleaner. Look a little bit, not cleaner, but like, ironically, actually messier. Just make it look like how it does in the cartoon. Or at least how it does on like the, at least how it does on like the artwork for the game. Like that. There we go. And we're eventually, what I'm doing right now is something we're eventually going to do to all of our shadow layers, which is how I get it to kind of have that like Pokemon game look. probably enough. You don't want to overdo it either. Okay. So this is our flats layer. What is this? I love a mystery layer. Oh, that's the shadow layer I made. Never mind, I'm dumb. Okay. Alright, so what you'll see on all of these versions of Sprigatito, like throughout the evolution, here, let's bring up the reference on top, is that the whiskers, the glow here, like the highlights, happen on the whiskers. So this kind of, this green highlight that I have is gonna do this on the whiskers. So let's go ahead and, I'm just gonna call this highlight so I don't forget it. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the flats layer, and we're gonna highlight everything that's pale, and we're gonna start working on those layers. Because it's easier to work on one color at a time. So we'll do like here, 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 and here. And then same thing down here. Do your best to clean it up. I'm sure there are also so many more streamlined ways to like color and render in Photoshop, but this is my workflow. As flawed as it probably is, this is what I do. And then we're gonna grab our shadow layer here, and we'll see if we should do anything here. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, we can do a little bit here. Let's do like this. Oh, for some reason this one leg is not selected. Oops. Like this. Then maybe just some kind of like roundish. No, it's too much, too much, too much. Because actually, the shadows for this would be like here. And then little glowy shadows on the knees. Like that. Actually, I do wonder, I came back and love it. Hooray. Welcome back, Mello. Add like a, oh, that's interesting. Maybe you should go to bed. Like a little highlight on him there. We'll throw a little highlight here. And when I color those in, that'll be good. Actually, I do have a fun idea for Blue Michi's shadows here on the tail. What if we did like a like this? And then kind of like a, might be too much. I think that's good though. Yeah. Jesus. Yeah, you don't want to do too much, you know? Okay, so for this, you know, we'll do the same thing we did last time. We'll start with the highlights. And we'll do line layer, or no, I'm sorry, flats layer. go to the shadow layer, and then we're gonna do the same thing we did on these other colors, and just go through and do this. I don't really know what I want to do for the ears. I don't think I'm gonna add anything to them, maybe. Or if I just add a little bit on top. No. I'm overthinking. I imagined it would. I imagined it would taste like grass. Melody, you want to ask me any questions about art? I know you do. I know you have so many questions. Burning at the seams, or whatever the expression is. Chomping at the bit. Why is art? Oh, well. All right, that's my fault for asking. Honestly, that's on me. Jesus Christ. You're gonna wake up tomorrow and you're gonna look at these messages and you're gonna regret everything. All right, we're gonna grab all of these. And then we're gonna move into our shadows, which will be the last thing that we do. I never have any regrets. I know that to not be true. That's crazy. Oh shit, okay, wrong layer. That's okay. You don't have to be an artist to ask questions. Actually, if you were an artist, you probably would ask worse questions. You don't have to ask me any questions. It's okay. I was just asking if you wanted to. Okay. Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. And then for these, kind of do like this and this. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And then the thing I've been excited the most for is this shadow right here. Because it just doesn't look right. It looks like the face expands and extends down unless you have a shadow here. And sometimes that's what happens with these, is I really have to trust my own process. Till we reach a point like this, and now his head looks normal. Hooray. What made you start doing this series? Oh, that's actually a baller question. It was Mary. It was my girlfriend. We were talking about... We were just like coming up with fun ideas for this. I don't even remember why. We were just like, oh, it would be cool to do like, you know, Pokemon pre-starters. Like, what would that even look like? And like, what if Pokemon had an evolution before their current evolution? And then, and then we just started coming up with names, and it was like Pedalsaur, and you know, I remember what other ones there were at the time. I'm trying to remember what they were called. Dripling and Charcoal. And we were just trying to like come up with fun names and stuff, and then for fun, I drew one of them, just to see what it would look like. And then I was like, you know what if I made this like a whole series? And she was like, I would watch the shit out of that. And I was like, okay, then I'll make it. So truthfully, I would say even today, like I make these videos like for her more than anything else. Cringe. Yeah, that's true. Never mind. I'll break up with her tomorrow. My bad. can't have a shadow right next to a highlight. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. And then whop. Okay. So we're almost done here. Last thing we have to do is make the shadows look nice. Make them actually look like Pokemon game shadows. I'm really excited for me to post this on TikTok and for everybody to hate it. I'm joking, kind of. So we go through, and this basically just gives it like a watercolor-esque, like not directly watercolor. Thank you, Mel, I appreciate it. Not directly watercolor, but kind of this just like this Pokemon game look. Anything for my homie, absolutely, dog. Okay. So now we just are gonna go over all of the lines like this, very gently, very calmly, very kindly. Go over all of the lines. With this watercolor brush. What is this brush? I don't know, does it have a name? I don't know. I don't know what brush I'm using. I don't know. It's paint smudger brush. That's the name of the brush. You know, I had some like Delulu fantasy that I was going to be doing all of the Gen 9 starters today. I don't know what I was on. That's crazy. Originally, I was going to do like all of the sketches today, but I figured, as I said earlier, like I think it just makes more sense to just go all the way through a drawing. Because then you guys get like kind of a behind the scenes look at every step instead of just one step. You know, I thought this one was going to be really difficult to do. I think the one that is actually going to be really hard for Gen 9 is Fuecoco, because Fuecoco already looks like a lot of my other pre-starters. I think that's going to be the one that that breaks me. So that'll be next stream. That's exciting. So yes, we're just going through, we're blending all of the colors. Taking each of these highlights, making them a little cleaner, a little softer. Highlights like this I'm gonna save until after I do these, at least until I'm done doing these on this. Like even this I can do a big one and then kind of slowly blend it in. I feel like Bob Ross. Like, and now we can make some happy little hills right in the back of this Sprigatito. Right in the back of this Blumichi. Okay, let's oh, interesting. Okay. Now, we could take these bigger highlights. Smooth these out a little bit. Have them follow the pattern a little better. Like that. These ones we want to do less on because there is actually supposed to be a bit of a harsher light down here. So you want that to look normal. And then, and that's when my tablet screws up. So give me 1 second. While you guys, I just have to close Photoshop and reopen it, but I don't want you guys to see my everything. I think I already showed my desktop at the beginning of the stream, but I'm gonna be weird about it. Okay, we're good. Here, have this back. Okay. Look how cute he is. Oh, he's really coming together. Yeah, sometimes my my Photoshop does this really cool thing. I think people will love this one. Hey, that's what I say every time. But sometimes Photoshop will do this really cool thing where brushes just don't work no more. It doesn't work no more. I am people and I love it. That's so true. I'm kind of getting like a focus group. I think you're the third person in this chat so far to tell me that they like the design, so if that keeps up through TikTok, then hooray. All right, is that it? I think that's it, chat. I really like this a lot. I think he's really cute. Should I do a little bit of smushing? Should I smush him a little bit? What does he look like if I smush him just a little bit? Like that much. Yeah, maybe even a little more. Smush. Like that. Perfect. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good, that's good, that's good. Something that I like to do when I'm done with a drawing. Let me clear the color reference here. Something that I like to do. Well, first of all, hold on. Let me, I make the lines a little darker by basically making like a solid copy of everything, merging it all, and then putting it behind. It just like, it increases the depth of the lines a little bit. I don't know exactly why, the science behind it or anything, but if you look like the outlines here, they get a little darker. I'm turning it on and off. They get like a little darker. I don't know why. But another thing I like to do is I like to take the sketch, merge it with a white background, put it on top, and kind of just like do this and like see, you know, we can actually, let's smush the sketch a little bit too. You can really see how far it came. It didn't change too much from sketch to final render. Sometimes it changes more. The eyes are notably bigger, for sure. I think the perspective just makes a little more sense. The leaves towards the bottom, like these guys, are a little bit more flowery and like fan out a little more than they did before. This is a little bit more like prim and proper. This is a little bit more like Galarian Meowth. This is definitely a little bit more Sprigatito vibes. Down here, if you look at the feet, these were also like a little bit more like bleh, and now they're a little bit more prim and proper. They were a little bit splootier, and now they kind of make more sense. And then also, if you look over here at the tail, before it was a little droopier, and I kind of gave it a little bit more life. And then just like, you know, some things like not caring if this stuff up here was too symmetrical, I think really helped. I think limiting it to being symmetrical before really like made it feel a little bit lifeless. And now with that and with the color and with everything, and also just like with the colors and with the highlights and everything, because if you look, it goes from like these highlights here I'm talking about. Oh, wait. These highlights here, these things, the white in the eyes, it goes away by the next evolution. I mean, you have like a tiny bit in Meowscarada, but I don't know. I really wanted to make his eyes twinkle, make him sparkle, to kind of push that. All right, so this is done. This is Blue Michi. Smile. They sparkle because he begs for treats and absolutely. That's the whole thing. But yeah, so basically, for those of you who were not here earlier, Mello, I think you're the only one watching right now, but if anybody's watching the VOD or if anyone skipped ahead in the VOD, let me just real quick go over these notes again. Not so much like the design notes over to the right, but like this note. So for the name, for Sprigatito, it combines two things, Sprig and Gatito, which is Spanish for like kitten. And to that end, Michi is actually another word they use in Spanish for like small cat. Like if you're like, you know, it's kind of like the Spanish word for like kitty cat, or like, you know, you could even go as far to say as it's like the Spanish word for like, I don't know, like cat, like pupper for dogs is like Michi for cat. Like it's like a really diminutive like baby mode word in Spanish for cat. And so I wanted to kind of like incorporate that. So I was trying to think of words that end with M. And so I was thinking of small things that are smaller than a sprig, right? I thought of like leaflets or just leaves in general. I thought of stems, and I thought of like stemmichi, but stemmichi sounds like, I thought it sounded like a drink, like a matcha almost, but Lemon said that it sounded more like an Italian guy's name or like an Italian dish, like stemmichi. So I went with the word bloom because bloom is more like, you know, something being born, something being created. So like that would be good for like a first evolution of something. And that is how Blue Michi was born. And I think he does fit really well with the rest of this evolution line. Like, let's take a quick look. Like if we were to take this, let's just open like a new file here. If we were to just open a new file, let's take the gang. This is usually like the way that I test this. Big. It's huge. Yeah, no, 100%. Look at this. This works really well. You can see all the things are working, right? Like this. Here. This green getting smaller on the face and also darker. these eyes getting more contrasty and like a little bit more saturated. Like this green tuft getting smaller and turning into that. This turning into this, turning into this. That makes sense. The nose is a little bit bigger and then it kind of gets smaller and darker. It's like really, really fluffy here. And then like the whiskers get like a little smaller and then just like kind of more combed. So like them being really unruly works really well. This shape here, this shape here being like this and then evolving into this. I think that works really well. Digi Ranger Scott, thank you so much for the follow. Hello, hello. Welcome to stream. We're just about wrapping up here, but thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mello. I appreciate that. Giving him like these little mittens, I think works well too. I don't know. Just like having this tail, go to this tail, go to this tail, go to this tail, I think makes sense and works. Even the amount of shadow I put on it too, like now it's like half, it's like a little bit in shadow, then like half in shadow, then like mostly in shadow, and then fully in shadow. All of it lines up. All of it makes sense. I think it's really good. I'm very happy with Blumichi. I hope you guys are too. I don't think I'm going to do any more today. I think that doing one full design in one day is enough for me for today. But if you guys want to, you know, you can totally check out my my TikTok and my Instagram. I'm assuming that anybody who's watching this is already following those, but stay tuned on those because Blumichi will be coming in the next couple days. And if you guys want to see more streams, let me know because I will totally do more streams. And I will totally do Fuecoco next. Fuecoco is pre-evolution. So if that's anything you guys want to see, let me know. Ah! Ads, ignore me. Okay, I was gonna find somebody to raid. My homies, my friend that was streaming literally just ended like a minute or two ago. So unfortunately, I'm not gonna go raid her. You know somebody to raid? Who should we raid, Mello? Who should we raid? Give me somebody to raid. Is who's streaming right now? They're playing D&D. Is Axel streaming? Oh, just LCV. Okay, yeah, we can totally raid. We can raid. That's fine. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming to the first drawing stream. I haven't done an art stream on any account in a long time. But I've never done a stream on this. And so to get my first 6 followers and to have at least 2 or 3 viewers the whole time, has meant a lot. So thank you all so much for, you know, for being here, and for hanging out while we talked about, I don't know, cats and art, which I guess is appropriate when you're drawing a cat. Let me check out Jess real quick. See what they're doing. Okay, yeah, they're doing, it looks like they're doing a little D&D. So we will head on over. They're just starting. So let me see. Raid. Jess LCV. There we go. Okay. So thank you all so much for coming by. Let me know if you want to see more streams like this in the future. And yeah, as always, love yourselves, be kind to yourselves, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.